you can hear me now. Morning to all of you. Now we are going to start business economics. This is 12042. This is second semester. First semester. So how about your? So in the first semester, what are the other subjects you follow in economics? Principles of economics. So what you study there? Yes, the areas that you focus. Yes, economics is from the definition. Then we study the microeconomics. Last visit, then we start from the demand, consumer behavior part. So we start the demand theory. Then the elasticity. Then equilibrium. Equilibrium. Then utility. Under the equilibrium, what are the areas that focus? Basically, that explains the consumer behavior. Right? Theory behind the demand. Right? We study under the consumer behavior. So, what are the theories that you look at? Under the consumer behavior. That we believe theory, then the first level. Maybe the balance theory. We can the agricultural value. So then, only that's all. Okay, right now, actually, business economics. Now we talk about business economics. So basically, we are going to apply the economic theory common, right? Not only the micro. There's the area that others are also the body. So you should have some kind of knowledge about the macroeconomics also. Like when we start the business economics. So anyway, hope that we will learn something about, right? We are not going to talk about on these areas, but basically, you know what is happening in the general economic environment, no? Right? As economic students, no? Right? Am I correct? Because I like to conduct the lecture in interactive way, right? So you also can participate with me. If there's any question, you can raise those questions at any time. So you can interrupt me, right? So this is actually the course is very interesting, right? Because we are talking something about the applications of economic theory and other decision sciences. So you study the statistics, no? Right? You are very familiar with these calculus, differential equations, right? Okay. So you will apply those things also. Right? So simply, if I say economics, what we talk general, we actually study the behavior of manufacturing, right? So in the economic analysis, what we do basically now we study about the demand curves, supply curves, all these things, right? Elasticity. Yes. Actually, we talk, we basically pay attention to the slope of those curves. Right? We look at whether they are steeper or flatter curves and so on. Because that is very useful for the decision making. So that's why we use in economics marginal analysis. Right? In business economics, we use the marginal analysis. Use the marginal concept. Even the demand supply. The demand and supply equation, if we talk about the equilibrium, that explains the marginal cost and the marginal benefits. That equilibrium point is the intersection point of the demand and supply. So that implies the marginal cost equal marginal benefit. At the marginal construct, when we look at this top of the curve and the intersection point, because that is equilibrium, no? So that is another important concept we use. Equilibrium. Apart from this margin, and two concepts. So very important now in all these two of your discussions, you talk about equilibrium. And when you take the decision, we need to look at not only the total cost of the apart from that is scope of the curve. So that is very much important. That's why in business economics also, in analysis, we use this marginal analysis. So that's okay, right? So now we will talk about all these things later, right? In the latter part of our discussion. So now let me, since we take so much of time for this technical matters, some same thing happened. I thought that all the things arranged well, right? Not like in government universities, right? But same thing here also we see, right? That is the problem, right? So take so many time for the technical language, right? So technique, that this is the technology, no? Right? So that is also very much important, like when we talk about the economics, right? When we analyze the production function, no? Right? Something the techniques is behind there, no? Right? Because we combine the factors of production, no? Right? In order to get the maximum output, no? Production function, right? That combination of factors imply that we need to use a certain technology, no? Right? So there is a technology also, right? Yeah, right. Without technology, you cannot talk anything, no? Right? With innovation, no? Right? So that is the driving force. They cannot, right? Okay, right. So let me begin with the discussions, right? So now you know that we discuss now you talk about economics you study, right? Basically what you studied there, basically now underlying concept to economics use the resource scarcity, problem. Scarcity problem. Then the main problem, right? So that's why we need to allocate resources in optimum manner, right? In order to satisfy the people, right? Right. So we are going to satisfy the people, right? So in the you studied about the demand, right? So final objective is to provide extremely goods and service. People are trying to maximize their utility, right? We take the utility that's concept we use, utility to maximize it, right? As an individual, we always try to maximize the utility, right? But there may be some barriers also there. When we try to maximize our utility, right? Constraints, so we call it as constraint, right? So we maximize the utility subject to the constraint, right? In the that behavior you explain, right? Something marginal utility is equal to price, right? Right? And we remember, and we take equimarginal concepts, right? The ratios between marginal utilities between two products and their prices, right? Same thing also now we are going to expand the similar pattern the way we look at when we talk about the producer behavior, right? Because we start our discussion from producer behavior at the area of the first, right? Basically, and this development. So that same thing you can recall your memory in that what you applied there in the institute when you talk about the principles of economics in explaining the consumer behavior, right? Same pattern, same techniques, but different ways, right? In the wordings and so on, right? Because objective is different, right? We must try to maximize the utility, but we maximize profits, right? So you are going now. So that is the old definition, profit maximization. There are other to that, right? Okay, right. So that is our setting behind this, right? We are going to talk about, right? So anyway, now it's okay, right? So the right? So, right. So now, how about now you are from different first time I meet you, right? So are you what about you? What are you working somewhere? How many of you are working? You are working. Right. So now actually a very good choice, you made, right? Because degrees accounting and finance, right? So we talk about the finance degrees, right? Very much important in our context, right? That is high demand, right? Get right choice, right? In this program. But the degree I would say, right? You must, even though you work, right? You are in the degree, with degree line, right? All of what? Colombia, degree line, but you need to achieve your targets, right? If you are in the first year, right? You need to focus. study well, right? So time management was very important, right? So because we make certain investments, so, right, we need to get the maximum benefit from this. So there will be a benefit in the future as well, right? So your study is not confined in particular. After that, we must go in ladder, right? But taking the degree, first degree is very much important. Then after that, in your employment, right? And we have other any aspirations also, like targets, right? We need to go for those targets. So therefore, the starting point is okay, right? But you must pay full attention for this and get the maximum benefit. So if you get the high standards, no, right? So you will be recognized well in the industry as well, right? And that will open more videos for you to develop your career and also your future, no, right? So therefore, you must pay your attention for your studies, right? And what I mean is now there are assessments will be continued, no, right? So that is normally in the university we have an agreement between the students and the lecturer, right? Regarding the continuous assessment, right? So according to your schedule, that is in the course, right? So we will go with that. Do you have any concern regarding the assessments? So there are certain assessment, continuous assessment, individual assessment, group assessment, quiz, online quiz. And the MCQ also they are also planning that one. Is it okay? So depending on the time, we need to manage up, we take extra time also, like we have talked to and also, like, so, and in the group assignment, there is a presentation, right? And there will be a individual assignment. And quizzes also they are like, so according to the, they can even 20% allocate for the quizzes. Is it okay? Are you agreeing with me or do you need any revision? Because this is democratic socialist country, right? We always talking, right? Just talking, right? But no, nothing will happen, right? Under that theme, right? Democratic socialist, right? Right? But we can show, right? That by 20% allocate for the quizzes. This is okay for you, right? Okay. Those shall be deducted and allocate certain marks for the assignments. Can tell me this was at the first instance, then you cannot change, right? That is your opinion. So if you have the continuous, this online quizzes, 20%, that is online, no, right? Can do it, but today also I can give you one, right? If it is the LMS in the field, I was not online. First one I will give online, right? So I give a question. Tomorrow you need to give the answer. Is it not? Okay, tomorrow you have that time, right? The question based on the today's lectures, you can give the answer to online. And it can be the issue either this system, like I just very connect to the LMS, right? Anyway, right? Today I will show you the question, right? And I will upload that one to the LMS also. You need to submit your answer. Tomorrow, right? So you must be bona fide, no? Like it will fail, right? Okay. That means don't copy, right? Others, if I find it, say copy, cut and paste. Just sometimes our students what they do, they submit the assignment, right? They forgot to change the name. No one get the marks. Minus marks. So you cannot take no, right? Therefore, now assessments are very serious, no? Right? You know, so that's why discussion with you, right? We keep the marks, right? We need to confine to those assessments, right? Criteria. We must follow them, those ones, because actually we are learning outcomes and so on. No? Right. So then, shall we keep it at 20%? And 10% and another 10% for the individual assessment and the presentation and group assignment of presentation. Okay. Right. If there are, and there's another one I think I want to give you the before it. Yes. Shall we do instead of individual assignment? Shall we make it online? Sorry, MCQ test. Okay. Okay. We delete the individual assignment, only the group assignment and the presentation is there. The fine quiz is there. Apart from that, there will be an MCQ test. That is not online, physical. Right? Okay. So then we will do that way, right? And that will count 50% for the continuous assessment. Out of 50%, you will get at least 25%, right? Right. Then if we go to this course specification, or this is the LMS, right? So there are certain even the recommended reading, right? We need to refer some textbooks. Okay? So first one is Amja. Can refer that one early mentioned, right? Most of the things in my course will focus on that, right? But there are so many example of textbooks available, right? You can refer case by case those textbooks. Right? But refer the Amja book that is simply explain the things, right? You can really understand the concept and the more information available. You can elaborate your knowledge, right? So you can take up your own notes. So that is very much important, right? So you're listening, right? But you need to write down something, right? But you don't care, right? You need to do the further effort, right? You need to elaborate your knowledge, take your notes, right? That will be helpful for your final exam. Okay. Okay, right. So that's about the agreement, right? So it's finalized, right? So now let's move to the discussion, right? So the now economics, right? Basically, it talks about the resource allocation, right? So in microeconomics, what you did basically, it also talk about the resource allocation. It basically focus on the individual aspects, right? How the consumers or the producers they behave in the market environment, right? So we need to talk about the market also, right? Because prices are determined in the markets, right? Depending on the market conditions, consumer also change their behavior and producer also change their behavior, right? So basically talk about how the resources allocate optimum manner, right? Optimum allocation of resources. When we talk about equilibrium, because according to the independence curve analysis, right? They are the sort of equals, difference curve and the budget line tangent, right? So they actually at that point, what happened is optimal allocation of resources, right? Okay, allocation of resources. So basically, we talk about in economics how these scarce resources allocated optimal manner in to satisfy the number of needs and right. So they take basically resource allocation, and because we know that fundamentally as a human being, there is our the needs is limited, but the wants are unlimited, right? We need to satisfy all these things, but we cannot use it because the available resources are limited. So that's why we identify this scarcity, right, problem as a common problem, right? So in order to address that problem, what we have to do is we have to allocate the cost of economic, right? So that basically talk about in economics, basically in microeconomics, right? But even in the macroeconomics, we talk about same thing, taking as a general, right? Overall economy we talk about macroeconomics, right? But there we talk about how the resources we have these factors of production, so all the inputs that we use in production process, no? Right? And later calculate finishes, no? Right? So how we utilize those resources fully, right? To talk about the full employment in macroeconomics, no? Right? And all the theories that we talk about in macroeconomics basically talk about the how to reach to the full employment level. So there may be a deviation, actual output and the potential output, right? Potential output level is full employment output level, right? So we try to reach to the full employment level, right? So that's by analyzing the overall economic behavior, we are going to explain those, right? So that's the macroeconomic, but even in the macroeconomic terms, we talk about the economy as a whole, how we utilize all the resources fully, right? That means generally economics talk about the resource allocation. You agree? Okay, right? So you know the principles you talk about how the resources allocation, point of view, the consumer's point of view, right? Right. So then we talk about another thing. You know that even in the microeconomics, we talk about this rational thinking. What does it mean? So economic man, no? Rational man, no? Right? We assume the economics, people behave rationally, right? So even in the demand curve, when you know the demand curve, almost of the demand curve, no? Certain assumptions are there, no? Right? Universe, it's rational, no? Right? But it's not competitive market, no? Right? Right. Yeah, also we assume that is the assumption, right? Rational being. Rationality highlight that people always try to maximize their own objectives, right? Similarly, we are trying to maximize the utility, right? So how by spending our limited income, right? To take to receive the monthly income, salary, right? You must try to plan how you allocate this monthly income optimal manner, right? Different goods and services, right? To maximize the satisfaction, right? To get the maximum satisfaction, right? The constraint is the income, right? That's why you incorporate in your analysis budget line, right? When you first talk about the behavior, right? Budget line, right? So that is the rational thinking, basically the consumer and also the producer always try to maximize their own objectives. Consumer utility maximization, as far as when you consider producers, what they are trying to do. Traditionally, we know that they are trying to maximize the profit or minimize the cost, right? So that is talk about under the optimization. We talk about optimization. When we say the optimization, that means either maximization or minimization, right? Utility maximization, profit maximization, cost minimization, revenue maximization, right? Right. So always we talk about the rational economic behavior, right? Throughout our analysis also, basically we talk about how the producers behave in the market environment, right? We talk about, right? Here, there also we assume rational produce, right? But under certain constraint is there, right? Because when we are trying to achieve our objectives, some barriers are there, right? So now we know that producers, what kind of barriers are there in the production? Yeah, that means the raw materials, right? The real constraint is the raw material, right? Because producer they need the materials, right? As input, there may be some constraint the raw materials, and apart from that, financial constraint, right? Cost factors, outlay, right? And there may be legal barriers, right? Sometimes there is a agreement, right? Also, that like a monopoly situations created with an agreement. So sometimes you know that we have the agreement with the shell gas, right? So there is a monopoly, right? So no one enters the market. there's a legal agreement. Legal barriers also there, no? Right? You cannot enter into the market. Right? So likewise, some constraints are apart from that. Technical barriers, no? Right? So when we try to maximize our profit or minimize the cost, so we need to face these constraints, right? So we try to achieve the say objectives subject to the constraint, right? So that's also very important rational thing, right? So we assume the rational produce, right? Rational constraint, right? Always try to maximize their own objectives. So that's why rational behavior, simple example in the demand analysis one. When the price increase, quantity demand decrease, no? Why? That's also rational behavior, no? Right? Right. Perfect information, no? Right? You always no? With the information, no? Right? If there is asymmetric information, that cannot be happen, no? Right? Because in the demand theory, we assume perfectly competitive market. Informations are there. Users and the consumers behave with the information, no? Right? They have the full information. Right? That is the thing, no? So that's now in economics, we, unlike other sciences, no? Right? We define the economics. We make certain assumptions. No? Because why we made assumptions? Because we study the human behavior, right? We cannot control the elements, no? Like other sciences, no? Right? We are not doing now experiments in a lab environment. No? We cannot control the ingredients, no? Right? Because our lab is the society, no? Right? So therefore, we need to make assumptions. We explain the behavior, no? Right? So we can relax those assumptions and see what is really happening, right? That's why we should do the research, right? And you also have to do the research in your final year, right? Right. Right. So that is the rational thinking. Okay. Right. Right. Now, then another thing is the micro and the macro, right? So now you know the microeconomics, right? Talk about the small, like any small, no? Right? Talk about basically the individual behavior, no? Right? How the consumer behave with the market impact, right? So from that, you studied about the consumer behavior. Now we are going to study about the producer's behavior, market impact, right? So that's coming under the theory of the firm. Right? We are in the post business economics. Post part of this analysis will cover the theory of the firm. Right? We are going to look at how the producer behaves in a market environment. How the producer maximize output, no? In order to maximize the profit. Right. So when it comes to the macroeconomics, basically we look at the economy as a whole, right? Basically we analyze economic aggregates and the averages, no? Right? Aggregates means aggregates the national income today, national expenditure, take a budget, balance of payment, right? Aggregate output. That is aggregate. We get not the individual output, right? We get the overall output produced in the economy, right? Given period of time, right? So, okay, so the economic aggregates and the average. Average means in aggregate term, we get the from the individual's perspective in overall term, right? So that means if we take the national output, income, right? So that is the overall output produced in a given period of time, right? And averages also there, right? We study about inflation, right? What is inflation? That is the average price, right? It's the price level. But the price of a particular good or class of goods, no, right? It is the average price of the product produced in the economy, right? So basically calculate based on the price index, no, right? So that is the average. Now if we take interest rate, no? So that's also kind of average because we take the weighted average lending rates, right? Inflation rates, right? It's average, right? So in economics, in macroeconomics, we talk about these economic aggregates and averages, right? So basically, we analyze what determines the output level, employment, and so on, and their behavior and the trend over the time in macroeconomics. So that provides useful evidence in managing the risk. So that's why we talk about this one also, right? The economic theory generally applied in different economics, not only the macro information source, macroeconomics also very important in managing the decision making, right? Actually, we see that, right? So those are the two branches in economics. Right? Now, in microeconomics, what is the analytical tool? Microeconomics, the analytical tool. There you go. Use the demand and supply, price we can get, right? Then you come to the macroeconomics, what is the tool? We talk about the overall economy, in aggregate terms. We use the aggregate demand, aggregate supply. Right? Now, we know that microeconomics talk about the demand and supply. Right? Demand for the particular EX, supply of particular right? X is the product, particular production, right? That you talk about how the price is determined, right? Price and the quantity, price of X, quantity demand for the product X, right? In micro term, this is what individual, right? Individual consumer producer, right? Demand supply. So that is we analyze the economy in one aspect, the particular market, the particular type, right? Demand for the product X, supply of the product X, right? That is we calling that the partial equilibrium. This is not the general equilibrium, this is a partial equilibrium. Particular market, how the price is determined, right? When it comes to the macroeconomics, we take the aggregate demand, aggregate supply, right? That means we take the individuals, all the demand and all the demand for the product and the service, right? Aggregate the summation of individual demands for the goods and services, the economy. So that forms the aggregate demand. And aggregate supply also. In aggregate all the supply of goods and services. The economy, right? The ADAS model we use that one, right? So that determine what? It determines the price level and the income, right? So this is the equilibrium income. When the aggregate demand equals aggregate supply, that is the equilibrium, macroeconomic equilibrium. That is called general equilibrium. General equilibrium. That is the general equilibrium. In macroeconomic analysis, we use general equilibrium analysis. So there are some macroeconomic models, right? For an example, you can study in the highest level, right? ISLM model. That we talk about the overall economy taking into the two sectors in the economy, real sector and the monetary sector. Because when we explain the overall economic behavior, we need to consider how the real sector, goods and service, market, and the monetary sector interact with each other, right? The real sector determines the income level, monetary sector determines the interest rate. There is an interaction between the income and the interaction, interest rate, right? So that explains the overall economic behavior. We assume all other markers are in equilibrium. Macroeconomic general equilibrium. So this is when the aggregate demand equal aggregate supply, right? That is something we talk about in the real sector equilibrium. We assume all other markers of equilibrium at this level, at this income level, because there is a relationship between the real sector and the monetary sector. To the income level, it relates one side, and the interest rate also determine other side to interact each other. Finally, overall economic activity will be right. So that is the where the, that index when we talk about interval, sometimes we will right. Definitely targeting in the advanced level, of course, we do in the next law, right? The extension equals to interval, aggregate demand equal aggregate supply. Y equals C plus N plus D X minus N, right? So that is the equilibrium. So that talk about the macroeconomics, right? So that is the general equilibrium, right? Here we use the ADAS model, right? ADAS model. It's the ADAS model, right? Here we use the demand and supply, right? Laissez-faire principle, right? Price mechanics, right? We look at a particular market, but here we look at in economic region, right? So that is the difference, right? So between micro and macro, right? Basically, right? It's right. I don't know whether we can see the screen. Those who are on the online, can you see the screen now? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, now what you can see in the screen?
You can see the slide of the rational thinking.
Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can raise, right? So even though you are in the other way online, right? You can raise your questions, right? So if you have any question, you can raise anytime your question, because I cannot see you are the name the hands or not, right? I can't see, right? Okay, right. So so we will move to the then economics, business economics, right? So now with this understanding, now you know the basic branches in economics, micro and the macro, right? So in business economics, we use this economic theory, right? So some kind of business economics is the application of economic theory in making managerial decisions, right? To solve the managerial problem, right? So we are going to apply the economic theory, right? With the use of some tools, because we have to take decisions, right? We need to incorporate decision sciences tools, right? Those tools provided by the other subjects, maybe the statistics, mathematics, right? Some tools available. Okay, so if you have the mathematics, the statistics, you may understand those analytical tools, right? So we use those analytical tools with the support of the economic theory, right? In order to explain the real business problem, right? It's something we are going to apply theory into the practical scenario, right? To find out the solution for the business problem, right? It's application of managerial economics, the same thing, business economics or the managerial economics, right? It's basically talk about the application of economic theory with the tools of decision sciences, right? To analyze the major business problems and thereby achieve the organizational goals and objectives, right? So basically, we look at the following areas, use the economic theory. So that provide the analytical framework. How we analyze the problems, right? With the support of the theory. We incorporate the consumer theory or the producer theory, right? and the different markets, how the equilibrium, all these things determined, right? And some sort of macroeconomics knowledge we need to apply, because you must know as a managers, no, if you are in the business, no, right? Managers, you must know what is happening in the external environment. No? The income level, how it is going to be changed, right? People, right? So our income level, even though we appreciate higher level, no, finally, but income reduced, no, right? Right? So it is income, right? So anyway, right? But other areas, so that we now we talk about the employment, right? And how the interest rate, inflation, those things affect the business decision. Even the exchange rate, right? Balance of payment situation, reserves. So in the current setting, we are living in the crisis situation, right? It's a good example, right? We must know managers, as people, we must know the economic conditions, how the external environment change, going to be changed, right? What kind of impact is there on the business, right? So economic crisis, we know that all the industries collapse, no? Especially SME, no? More medium industries, no? Right? There are so many problems, no? Right? It goes from this macro environment, not only the internal, this micro environment, no? Macro environmental factors also very much important. So they are behaving, no? Right? Because we need, as a business, we need to think about current setting and the future also, right? Forward looking, no? We need to forecast, no? Right? Demand, even, no? Right? Future demand, no? Right? Everything depends on the demand, no? Right? As you discussed, no? Right? The demand is very important for the business, no? Right? Then, right? You need to forecast the demand and see what is going to be happening. Only we need to plan the things, no? Production and everything, no? Right? So therefore, that is very important. Right? Forecast, no? Right? Now that's why now business economics basically, now since we use these micro and the macro, and we look at the things what is happening in the economy in general also, right? The macro economy, basically the application, when we think about the application of theory, based on the theory we are going to explain the things. So that means the prescriptive, right? We start about the positive economics, no? Right? Positive and normative, no? Those things, two things are like here. Prescriptive, positive, descriptive, descriptive and descriptive, no? Right? So those things are there, right? In business economics, we know that we essentially use the theory to explain the situation and identify the relationships and so on, right? It's basically so we use the theory and apply it, and also we forecast the things. Right? Forecasting also what should be happen in the future, right? What the individual normative features are there, right? And also we use the decision sciences, right? Those are the tools. As we mentioned, when we talk about the rational behavior, no, we are going to optimize, no, right? Something we always talk about the maximization or minimization. Right? So we maximize and cost minimize. So in order to make such decisions, right, we need to use decision science. Sometimes you need to use the differential calculus, the marginal analysis, to find out the marginal cost, marginal revenue, and so on, right? And make decisions, right? And sometimes you need to create a model, right? And see the relationship between the weighting, how in the demand. Here you identify the demand analysis, no? You identify the factors determine the demand, no? Right? You identify set of factors, no? Right? You want to know how each of these factors affect to the demand, no? Right? Then you need to pick a model and run the model, no? Right? Collecting the data from the practical scenario, no? Right? And analyze the thing using the statistical models, no? Right? You can form the regression model, no? Right? So the regression analysis, no? Right? Because we need to estimate the coefficient, no? Right? So you know that price and the quantity demand negatively related, right? How this happen, right? what kind of magnitude is there, like when price increase by 1 rupee, how much the quantity demand is. Measures the coefficient, price elastic price, right? Now in the model, we need to identify those beta coefficients, right? How the income change and how it is affected the demand, right? So therefore, you need to fit a regression model, right? And sometimes you need to maximize, minimize subject to the constraint, right? Something you talk about the linear programming, right? All these things coming under the digital science, right? So that's also very important, right? So because finally we need to analyze the things, alternatives, and come up with solutions, right? So therefore we need to make a decision, right? So that's why we need to use these decision sciences tools coming under the decision sciences. Okay. And also not only that, we need the functional management. What do you mean by functional management? What mean the management of the right? Then functional management, functional areas, right? Production, marketing, sales, right? Finance, right? So there are functional areas, right? We need information, right? Because we need to know about the financial matters, because production, we need to find the finance need, right? We need to make the payments for factors of production, we need production and so on, right? So we have to look at this financial information, right? And not only that, sales, right? Projected sales, future sales, right? All these information. And also production, right? Cost factors, all these things, right? So therefore, we need the functional management those when we come up with the decisions, right? With the support of those information, we analyze the situation and we combine with the theory and the decision sciences. Finally, we can come to the conclusion, right? So it's something we analyze the economic theory, how we apply the economic theory and the decision sciences in order to come up with a solution for the business problems, right? So that is basically done by business economics, right? Let's see clear the definition. Right? So that is the common definition, right? So now we can further discuss some the definition given by this Thomas Chrysler, right? Business economics, but same thing, no? It's the application of economic theory and the quantitative techniques, right? So the quantitative techniques, as you mentioned, coming from the mathematics and statistics, right? Yes. We need the decision-making tools coming from those subjects, like statistics and the mathematics, right? And we analyze the managerial decision body, right? So basically, it applies the microeconomic theory, right? So it's heavily used microeconomics in business economics, but we cannot ignore the macroeconomics also because it provides information from the general macro environment, right? But use the microeconomic theory, basically the demand, consumer behavior theory, producers behavior, right? So now we know that economic theory, micro, macro, right? So what kind of things we studied about the demand theory under the microeconomics, right? Pricing, right? And sometimes business decisions we need to make, right? We incorporate with the knowledge of the microeconomics. And the macroeconomics provide information about the general macro environment, national income, employment, inflation, and exchange rate, all these things. We need to use all these things when we analyze them when we need to talk about with the decision sciences. We use the calculus, differential calculus, right? In order to find out the margin analysis, right? Marginal cost, marginal revenue, right? So the marginal cost we obtain from the total cost, You find the first derivative of the total cost function, that's the marginal. So that is the slope of the total cost curve, right? And likewise in the total revenue, you get the total slope of the total revenue coming. gross revenue, that is the marginal revenue, right? When the profit is maximized, we know that the condition is marginal cost equals to marginal revenue, right? At the profit maximized. Therefore, we need to find out the marginal cost and marginal revenue, right? So those not only the cost revenue, other areas like marginal utilities, marginal productivities, right? So this is we incorporate different factors of production in the production process. Those things are very important to come up with some decisions, right? So therefore, you use the differential calculus, right? And also the linear programming, regression analysis, game theory, right? Some kind of decision making tools, right? Using this, right? Is it clear? Any questions we have? Am I going fast? Am I going fast? No. The same thing we explained here again and again, right? Okay. Like Arangya quoted that's about the business economics. We talk about basically how the economic area applied with the support of the digital sciences in order to analyze the problems. Right? So this graph, this chart, explains the situation of right business decision making, right? So we use the economic theory, basically the microeconomic theory, macroeconomic theory, right? And what kind of problems we are having? Or the problems we have, we use the business economic decision making process in order to find out the optimal solution, right? So in that process, we use the economic theory, tools of decision sciences, as we mentioned, the functional areas, to get other information and the methodology, economic methodology. So first we start from here. What is business economic problem? What kind of problems are there? What if you are understanding what are the problems? Yes. General problem. So when it comes to the business work, business organization, what kind of problems are there? Yes. We have selected the product, right? And the starting point of any business, product means good or service. In economics, and then we talk about product. When we say the product, that implies good or service, right? Service providing organizations are there, right? Goods providing organizations are there, right? That's we need to select the product, right? There's a demand, right? We use the demand, right? Here and their applications, right? So then the selection of products, that means that we need to decide how much the output that we need to produce, right? Depending on the demand, right? Then what kind of other problems? Then you need to make the price. How you decide the price, right? Pricing issue. That's right. That is very much important, right? Price, right? Based on the information, the cost figures, based on the market demand. Because you know that we study about elasticity, right? It's the price in the wrong way. If there is a, let's say the product has elastic demand. Right? Elastic mean what? What is the situation? Of the demand here, there's elastic demand. Steep or flatter. I told you, right? We always talk about the slope of the curve, right? Nothing else. Right? If there's elastic demand, what happens? Demand curve is steep or flatter. Price change is the quantity change. Price change is very high, but quantity demand change. So then we inelastic, right? We have a steeper demand. If the flatter demand curve, respect a small price change, there will be elastic change in the demand. Elastic, right? Okay, flatter. If there is a flatter demand curve, what happens? If you increase the price, All change in the price, change the demand. Because, right. Increase the price, there will be a decline in the demand, significant decline in the demand. That is the revenue. Well, use it. You can the elasticity, right? Price elasticity. If the marginal concept, we use this marginal revenue equal price into 1 plus 1 over elasticity. There's an equation, right? The marginal concept we use. You can check whether if the elasticity outside revenue change, cost change, and the price, and so on. Right? Therefore, pricing decision is very important, right? And also not only that, what else? You need to hire labor, right? And train the labor, right? Sometimes. Take this, right? When you decide to production, you need to take decision. How much labor you could have be, how much the capital, right? You need to incorporate, right? Basically, the labor, hiring, right? Hiring, right? And training. And sometimes you may decide now rather than using in-house, you can purchase from the outside. Buying or production, producing within the plant, or you can buy it from the outside. But sometimes buying outside is very profitable, right? Rather than producing inside. You can take this, right? Whether produce in-house or buy from the outside, right? Like sometimes and also we make the decision about the investment, right? Capital budgeting, right? So that's also very important area to come up, right? Whether you invest or not, right? So this decision we have to take, right? Problems are there, right? So once those problems arise, based on we make decisions, the business, right? And finally we come up with the solution, right? So we use the economic theory as we mentioned, like microeconomic theory, macroeconomic theory, and the decision sciences, functional areas, right? That provide the information about the other areas, very much important when you make this decision, and the economic methodology. What is economic methodology? Sometimes we need to say prescriptive or descriptive, right? Prescriptive or descriptive, right? Because you analyze based on the theory, and come up with the ideas, right? So there is something deductive methodology, inductive methodology. We apply the theory, right? Deduction, right? Practical problems, we analyze the practical problems. We use the theory and take the theory and apply the theory into the practical situation, right? So that is prescriptive and the prescriptive, right? Sometimes you need to forecast the things, right? So therefore, economic methodology you have to use to come up with decision, right? So finally, you come to the optimal solutions, right, for those problems, right? That is the subject area, right? Scope of business economics, right? Right. So then this is the descriptive, prescriptive, right? Methodology as we explained, right? So we use both. Business economics has this descriptive and prescriptive element, right? So that is very much important because this is descriptive and prescriptive. You can come to the optimal decision, right? To solve the very problem. So descriptive means it basically explains the real world business problems, right? With the support of the theory. So we interpret the theory, right? To explain the practical problems. Right? We analyze the things, right? And find the causal relationship, right? What determine the demand, what determine the output, right? Likewise, right? And something we apply here into the practical situation in order to identify those relationships. Right? So that is descriptive, no? Right? So descriptive means we need to analyze the problem, right? With the support of the here. That kind of analysis. Right? You must have a knowledge in economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Right? And the descriptive means so we need to forecast the future as well, right? We need to forecast the future earnings, not right? For an example, value of the firm, right? So, what is the value of the firm? Firm value means you can think about it depends on the capital, not right? And the debt capital, not right? Then total value of the firm is value of the debt and the equity, not right? So, but based on the profit also we can value the firm. Right? So that means based on not only the current, future expected profits, right? So we know that to discuss the for consider future, no, right? Expected to earn profits, no, in the future, no, right? We can forecast the future profits, no, right? We can value the firm, right? And then the value of the firm is present value of the expected future profit. The value of the expected future profit. So that's why the business as a one objective, core objective of the business, even in the economic theory also we assume profit maximization, no, right? It's the core objective. Even though there are other objectives, right? That we determine the value of the firm. So how we determine the present value of the expected future profit? A discount factor you can use interest rate, no, right? First year profit, second year profit, third year likewise, there are profit generated for a number of years, no, right? To discount it from the discounting factor, you can ascertain the value of the firm. Now, if we take the profit, I mean, profit we denoted as 5, right? And the percent value of expected profit, future profit. What is the first year profit? Year 1, we discount it 1 plus R. Can you remember? Percent value, okay, calculate. Expected now the percent profit generated in the first year, we discount the by the interest rate, no, right? The interest rate is the cost of capital, no, right? That we use, right? Cost conversion factor, right? And the second year, 1 plus R, 2, no, right? So we discount it, no, right? The discount to factor, no, right? We take the present value of future expected profit by some is future expected profit. That can be a number of years, no, right? And so, right? We take the 5 again, divided by 1 plus R 8, no, right? Right? So like that, right? We take the present value of future expected profit, assuming we generate the profits for an n number of years, right? So that means the take the summation, right? Right. 5A plus N1, right? So we take this one, right? So we take all the summation of the number of years profit, the discounting factor, taking first year to the number of years, right? So that is the value of the firm. So this determines the value of the firm, right? This is the value of the firm based on the future expected profit, right? Based on the future expected profit, right? So that's why we need to forecast the profit, even, right? Our earnings, right? That is one thing, right? Under prescriptive, right? Forecast. And also we need to forecast the demand, right? Demand forecasting, right? So that is also very much important, right? So the business economics has this descriptive and prescriptive elements, right? In order to arrive the business decisions, their manner, right? Most effective manner, right? Can make management decisions, right? So, right, and we can arrive the organizational goals, right? Achieve most effective manner since all the elements are there in business economy, right? We can maximize the profits, maximize the revenue, and so on, right? Okay, right? So generally now we talk about these subject areas, right? In business economics, basically, you know that we do the demand analysis, right? And forecasting, as you discussed in the first the course, socially, right? Apart from that, we talk about the cost and the production analysis, right? And that is also under the theory of the firm, right? We need to analyze the cost and the production, right? Because we are business firms trying to maximize the profit. So therefore, firms need to produce maximum output, by minimizing cost also, right? When it reach to the maximum output level, right? The cost factor also very important, right? We need to analyze the cost factor also, right? And the production is also very much important. And pricing decisions, right? And the profit management, right? And the investment, right? So those are the areas that we focus in business economics. Okay. Right. Then now we are moving to the topic, right? That we want to talk about today. Do we need a break? Go ahead, Zainat. We need break. 5 minutes. Take a break. 5 minutes break, right? And if you have any question, you can raise. Right? So, what kind of things, what kind of issues you have, right? So, Oh, they got.
And also, the change is coming.
Yeah, that's right.
Saying you have I think I did and I found it. And they should
Yes, I have the.
remember, can we have been able to put a main thing here? So I mean, check the land being and environmental. Environmental product, that you want to take another piece. But you know, the only thing that is good.
Some Saturdays also. It is there. Okay. Yeah, we have lectures today morning. Next lecture will be after the lunch. And yeah, that will be finished before 11:30. Because we have a tight schedule with the content of the course, right? So we need to cover 9 areas. The support also very much important, right? So when you are coming the next day, right, you need to refer the materials up to date. It is very much important, right? To refer your materials and so on, right? Because then other days, so that means it's very important. Easy for you to continue the lessons and also finally, before you the final exam, you have to take it. What you think about your requirement, those who are working in the school, right? Rather than taking more the to at last, right? Well, yeah, doing that way, no, right? We can take all the things, right? Finally, we try to do all the final stage and get the last meeting. So rather than waiting at the start minute, right? Taking that way. Yes, we will start the session, right? So, so far now, do we have any questions to ask? Any questions? What we got so far? Is it clear or feel very fast or something? We can go it, right? If it is comfortable to you or do you need any sort of the changes, the way that we have continued the etc.
Now actually nowadays, having your like the so because I know that those to update my knowledge because I ran maybe 15 years before. So after that, no updation.
That is very much important. The education or the learning process is very important, right? It's a continuous process. Please give it my skipping Nice to meet you. Then actually, I have around in the university for than 22 years now. Third year. Actually, I start my career from Colombo University as an assistant lecturer. I think eight. Because now after the degree, actually, that's why I told you, right? So you are starting first degree, right? And some other professional processes you may follow, right? Even this, you get more exemptions for this, just from the chartered, right? Right? And to get the degree that is anywhere is recognized, right? In these recognized institutions, because I participated for the degree in the MBA program, right? Recently, last year, I think, right? So the unique program we actually recommend. The unique easy, right? It's a new program, right? Question analytics, right? Actually, you need to continue. Now, in my case, actually, I did first degree in 1997. Then I did, my area, I'm interested in economics. Economics, actually, basically, the macroeconomics. That's my kind of area. But I deviate from the finance side in the latter part of postgraduate. My second degree, that is postgraduate diploma in economic development. That was after my first degree in 1998. I completed. That's a 1 year diploma postgraduate. Then I did master's also in economics, same university. And then again I MPhil in finance, in research. Then after that, 2012, I completed the PhD, financial engineering, because I attached to the analytics department. And we are using the banking finance there. I started that one in 2002 from Ireland. That it was legally required to be environment at that time. The university system, banking and finance. I actually then I came from the finance side, banking, bank, right? So anyway, I short economics. And then so we did yesterday and Dr. Rose, I think continuous process, right? We also work with that process. If you learn something, if you do something, that will benefit you and in the industry. They need people from your background. The finance week, right? So there are so many problems arise with this migration. So many opportunities also available. Right? The sector, like we have some contacts in NBB and even from the NBB banks, banking sector. Are there? They need people, so right? These actually they recruit so many people actually from the university. That's why I will go increase. They train them. You need to develop your skills also, right? So that is very much important, but private sector, not only private sector, even government sector, whatever. This is starting point, so you need to develop all these things. Your knowledge, right? That is very much. So your target, so don't give up your target, right? Even though maybe there may be some problems arise, no? Right? If you continue your studies, but you need to manage all these things. Things are there, no? Right? Opportunities are there, right? Like economics, right? Personal life also. Things are there. The thing is to manage all these things, right? Face all these things, challenges. Life is a challenge, right? You need to be, right? Or you want to come into those challenges. So, now we have to when the environment, right? So if working your degrees, right? So you can finish on time. So, unlike government universities, right? Maybe don't delays, right? So now we don't have, the government delays, but are there, right? Financial issues are there. Because we don't have money, right? Government don't have money, so we also don't have money. And that's the case sense. High tax. So there is a problem faced as professionals. Right? You need to manage all these things. Right? That's the problem. That's the message, right? Okay, right. So now since we have no problem with the past area that we talked about, now we identified the idea of business economics, right? So we can go to our topic. That is the theory of the firm, right? So now we are in all most of the things here in business economics will be covered the theory of the firm. Under the theory of the firm's main firm's behavior. You need to think about how the production is determined, how the firms manage costs, right? And the revenue and the profit. Right? Those areas right? So now we talk about that. Those are some theoretical things, no, right? So cost theory, revenue theory, profit theory, right? Likewise, we talk about under the firm's behavior, under the theory of the firm, right? So now this also actually, even though we talk about the producer's behavior, right? We still go along with the consumer behavior because now firms basically has to decide the quantity, the output that produced, right? So that depends on the demand. Right? Therefore, we need to scan the market demand and so on, right? So even though we talk about the maximum output level that the firm can produce by incorporating the different factors of production and so on, right? Finally, the where we produce that depends on the market demand, right? So we need to fulfill requirements, right? Depending on that, we need to find out the optimal solution, right? Minimum output level, right? Depending on. So therefore, that's why we say that even though the theory of the firms was along with the theory of the consumer also very important, right? In we are maximizing our profits, right? While maximizing by producing the goods and service, the consumers for their own sake of benefits, no, right? We must try to, as a producers, must try to maximize our objectives, profits, which kind of cost, right? Although we are trying to maximize the output, subject to the given cost, right? Cost factor also very important. That's why we need to look at all these aspects on the theory of the firm, right? Okay. Now the important thing is now business today. Yeah, dealing with the dynamic environment, right? Changing environment, right? There's the crisis period, we know that problem. Environment is rapidly changing in the last few years, decades, because of this problems, right? And then later on, economic financial crisis, right? Environment change rapidly, right? We have to think about the new ways and means of producing and satisfying people, right? Likewise, that is very much important, right? So that becomes more complex, right? That's why most of the firms fails, right? During the period. Therefore, understanding the business environment, the problems, and how to overcome those problems, with the support of this economic background, economic theories, and so on, is much important, right? we are going to that means the success of business. We are going to make the success of the business, right? So, even though we talk about the success of the business, when today that it depends on the abilities, right? The managers, because ownership and the manager, two different things, right? The traditional firms, right? We know that there is small firms, you take, there's no difference, big difference between the owner and the management, right? Everything done by the owner, right? That we need always try to maximize the profit. But in the today in the complex environment, large business entities like conglomerate, transnational companies, the multinationals, the ownership and the management is two different things. Right? That's why we need to talk about the principal agent problem, right? Because their objectives of the owners and the managers may differ. Right? You agree with that? Because as a shareholder, as a owner of the business, I want maximum return, dividends, profits. But talk about the director board, managers, business. They may have some other objectives, right? They want to satisfy the employees, right? Satisfy the customers, not only the shareholders, right? They may be one objective. So that may, to some extent, we get the profit maximization. So that's why the current business environment, we talk about multiple objectives, not only the profit maximization, even though we talk about that in the theory, right? Practically, the organization has multiple objectives. We always compare profit maximization, right? Profit should be maximized, right? There should be certain level of profit. You are saying, but as a business, as a private sector, profit motive organization is something else, right? As a profit motive organization, private business, right? Just should earn certain level of profit, but there may be other objectives, right? Therefore, that depends on the entirely the ability of the managers, right? You are the future managers, right? Business. If you in the director board, the person, the future, right? Even though a year today, right? After 10 years, maybe the top level manager, CEO, right? Then, right? That should be, right? So that is the situation, right? So therefore, that depends on your abilities, right? How the organization achieve the objectives and everything, right? So therefore, we, as a managers, we must occupy, we must equip with these skills and knowledge, right? To address these problems in the dynamic environment, right? Okay, right? So the anyway, now the area of the firm, simple idea, you are we talk about more, right? Basically, we talk about this cost revenue, right? And the profit maximization, right? So that talk about the area of the firm, right? Right. Now this is the I told you, right? The goals away from the profit maximization, maybe growth maximization, right? And the value, right? Because value maximization. That may either depends on the profit or depending on the value of the capital, no? That capital gain, no? Right? So that depends, right? And sustainability, no? Right? As a business organization, we have to think about the long-term sustainability, right? Not the short-term profit, no? Long-term sustainability. And the value maximization shareholders, no, right? That is part of the profit, right? But we need to satisfy the shareholders by giving high dividends, no, right? Every year, no, right? Because we make an investment, we purchase shares, we look at the dividends paid by every year. Right? that investments, they are not mainly focusing on the dividends, right? Something we expect the capital gains, right? With the dividends, right? Capital gains, right? Because you purchase shares, no, right? As a business, no. Today you purchase, tomorrow you sell it, no, right? You don't get the capital gain, no, profit, no. That is your business, no, right? And then, right? We are not expecting the dividends, no. We are not taking the shares, right, for a longer time, expecting dividends, no, right? Because the dividends paid based on the nominal value, no, right? But we can earn more, right? Because they in the secondary market, no, right? So that's why we look at this price movement, no, right? So that's why we talk about in the speculation, no, share market. You also demand money. I can talk about the money demand. I the speculative motive, no? Taking the share prices, right? You keep demand money, right? You want to invest in shares, right? And earn profit, right? On it, right? That is another thing. Okay. So now not only the dividend, but maybe the gains, but if the not satisfy the shareholders, all the shareholders, they must be paid higher dividend. That is another thing, right? And the share price, no, right? As shareholders, we see all the time the prices increase, no, right? Share price, market price. The managers must take actions to increase the share price, no, right? Share market, no, right? The profits and the other use in order to satisfy the shareholders. That is coming under the shareholder value maximization, right? And the revenue maximization. So when you talk about the revenue is maximized, no, right? Somewhere, no, right? There may be now the profit maximization and the revenue maximization, two things, no, right? Profit is maximized somewhere below the revenue maximization. We talk about that one later, right? So when we talk about this revenue, the revenue, the cost and so on, right? So anyway, now the revenue maximization also there, right? Brand loyalty, no, right? We need to increase the popularize our brand, no, right? So people know to look at the brand and there's a good reputation for the business, right? Brand loyalty, to maintain long-term customers, right? Loyalty, that's also very much important, right? And the market share, no? Increasing the market share, no? The business. We must be the first in the market, no, right? Not the second. First item, not the first. Market share, revenue, more market share. That means taking the demand, no? As demand for the product, no? Right? And increase the market demand, the market share. Finally, was satisfy the customers, so satisfaction. Apart from that, employee satisfaction, right? Other objectives, right? So that's why in the large organizations, right? So these apart from this profit maximization, right? So there may be objectives that the firms trying to achieve, right? Because that basically, right, those principles in the problem, right? And talk about the objectives of the shareholders and the management. So shareholders objective, management direct board objectives, there may be some conflicts, right? So that's when we talk about this relation problem, right? As a result of that, we can identify this something monetary objectives and non-monetary objectives as well, no, right? firms try to, right? And loyalty, customer satisfaction, right? And also now as a part of the society, right? We have to do something, right? That's also one object of is that, right? Yeah, on the sustain business, right? Today, we spend a lot of money, right? On CSR, right? So as a part of the society, so that also very much important, right? Right. So those are the goals of the right? But in theory, what we talk about basically, even though there are objectives that firms try to achieve, basically we look at it in the theory. Right. So this is the areas that we focus, right? Under the theory of the firms behavior, cost, revenue, profit, and production. Right? So we'll come to the production first, right? So production theory. You must know what is production. Concept of production. Do you have any idea about the production? I know one thing. So that is the basic economic concept, right? We identified production, consumption, distribution. Those are the basic economic activity. After that, production is the important economic activity, right? That's very important, right? What is production? We are incorporating inputs and getting output, right? Transforming input into output, right? So actually, the production, right? The production, as a result of that, we talk about the products, right? Those are the goods and services produced, it has a capability of satisfying people, utility, right? So the products have the capability of satisfying people, right? And we call it as utility, right? But the production is not merely transforming input into output. We are not referring the physical output, right? So that is actually value creation process, right? Once we convert, once we transform input into output, right? So there is a value addition also, right? So there is a process, right? So in each process, there are some processes, right? So there is a value addition, right? So that's why we talk about the cost also, right? Right? Cost also, right? So with this transforming what we create, there's a utility and value, right? Because we do something, we change the shape, quality, content, cost, all the things, right? In the production, right? So size, shape, maybe, right? Quality also change, right? Right? And the form, right? Contents also change the production. Is the transforming process into input into output, right? So that is the production. So this term that creating something which has a utility, right? That is most important, Products has the capability of satisfying people, satisfaction, provided by product, and also the value creation process, right? How that actually finally transform input into output, right? So input means we use those are the factors of production, right? Yeah, right in economics, 4 factors of production, and they revenue, contribution, right? So we combine all these factors of production and do the process, right? Finally, transform into output. That's a value, right? So this input is the what we operate in the production process. There's a process, something, and finally we obtain output. This output means the final output, but maybe another input for another industry, right? Even though we say it's a output, right? It may be a input in another industry. That is we call either intermediate system. Maybe I define a product or intermediate production. Right? If we take the fertilizer, petroleum, right? It's an intermediate production, right? Even though it's an output of one industry. Right? So that is everything elevator transforming process, input into output, right? Right. Now in the production, what you can see, once we incorporate these factors of production and finally through the process, we generate output, right? So we can identify the fixed input and the variable input, right? In the production process, right? What are the fixed inputs and what are the variable inputs? In the production process, some factors are fixed, right? We cannot change at a short notice, right? So now we incorporate capital, land, right? Can we change the capital? How can that represent the buildings, machinery, right? One side, right? So we cannot change instantly those factors, right? At a short notice, we cannot change the capital, right? Takes certain time, right? So therefore, we can identify these fixed factors, right? And also the variable factors also there. Some factors are variable, right? For an example, we take the labor, right? So we can hire labor, we can increase the labor inputs, right? For the short notice, right? So those are the variable factors. So in the production process, we can identify these fixed factors and the variable factors. Fixed inputs and the variable inputs. Fixed inputs, they are constant, right? In supply, that means inelastic demand, right? There's an inelastic supply, right? We cannot change the supply of fixed inputs at a short notice. But variable inputs, we can change, right? At a short notice. Supply is elastic, right? So we can identify those, right? In the production, as we look at these inputs, right? That we incorporate in the production process, some factors are fixed, some factors are variable. Based on that, we can identify this impact on the output growth, right? In the short run and the long run, right? According to the analysis of the fixed and variable factors. Short run is not the period of time, right? 1 year, less than 1 year, as an accounting we do, right? That is not the short run. In economics, short run is something else, not the period of time. It depends on the variability of the factors of production. The short run production process, we identify both variable and fixed factors, right? Because we are trying to increase the output in the short run by changing the variable input, keeping those fixed factors constant, right? Those fixed factors determine the capacity of the business, right? Number of machines available, right? Suppose now we are running with 2 machines, right? So that is fixed. We cannot change instantly. We can purchase another machine, takes a time, right? So that 2 machines there is a capacity. Suppose we can incorporate per machine 5 labor workers, right? So therefore we only have 2 machines. Maximum we can incorporate 10 workers, right? With that fixed capital. So that is the capacity. Depending on that, we can decide how much we can produce, right? Maximum output level. Right? Suppose currently we are running with 2 workers, the 2 machines, right? That is short run, right? So we can incorporate more and more. We can hire labor, right? We can hire another 3 workers, right? And start the production process, right? That increase output level because total maximum capacity is 10 workers, right? Likewise, we can increase the labor inputs, right? Until it reaches the maximum level, and we can decide how much we can produce. Maximum possible way, right? if we incorporate more labor, then change. Right? They are not working, they stay, right, and sitting somewhere, no, right, talking something else, no, right. That means we cannot increase output beyond that level. So there is a maximum possible level that we can increase the output by incorporating variable inputs labor. Right? So that is the short run. So therefore, in the short run, we see the output mainly depends on the factors and the variable factors. We try to increase the output by changing the variable factor inputs, so keeping the fixed factors constant. Because short run, we cannot change the fixed, right? So based on this fixed and the variable factors, we can identify the production function, short run production function, and the long run production, right? And that is depends on the period, short run and the long run, right? So we can identify the short run and the long run also, right? So in the short run, with the period of time, at least one variable is fixed, right? Now suppose we have the labor and the capital, right? The capital is fixed, right? So variable factor is the labor, right? So output mainly depends on the variable factor, labor. That implies what? The short run production decisions, they vary with the labor decision, right? Hiring labor, right? Because output depends on the labor. Labor is constant, right? So the fixed in the way long time, what we see, but in the long time, all the factors are variable. There is no fixed factors, variable factors. All the factors are variable, right? Because in the long run, we add another machine, right? We don't increase the output. Earlier we had two, now we purchase another machine, right? That increase the capacity of the business, right? That means we expand the business in the longer term, right? That means all the factors are variable. There is no fixed and variable problem. The factors production, the long run, all the factors are variable. So that's why now returns also we talk about it, right? So in the short run, what we do, right? We try to maximize the output by hiring more and more labor inputs, right? Because labor is the variable factor. Suppose we take labor and capital, right? Land also the rate. That one, right? Also fixed, no, right? Take labor and the capital, right? So since we incorporate more and more labor, keeping the capital constant, right? The extra output generated by adding extra labor inputs, what happens? Always diminish, right? Always diminish. That means the marginal productivity of labor is diminished. Okay. So there is a diminishing marginal productivity of labor. Short run. That means the short run production process experience diminishing returns, okay, to the variable factor proportion. Diminishing return to the variable factor proportion. The variable factor is the labor. Keeping the two machines capital fixed, no, right? We try to increase the output, right, by adding more and more labor, or increasing the labor hours, no, right? So yeah, they are actually the maximum limit that we can reach, right? The short run. But over the short run, since we add more and more labor, keeping the fixed factors constant, production process is subjected to diminishing returns. The marginal productivity of labor decline, right? Because we actually initially we can talk about that later, right? Mostly the marginal productivity of labor is decline. Initially there is a rise in the marginal product because the initial stage of the labor, there is high productive. Later on, it's subjective to the diminishing marginal rate. So the short run we expect diminishing marginal rate, right? Principle applied here, diminishing marginal returns to the variable factor proportion. That is the principle, right? But in the long run, since all the factors are variable, we expand the capital and the labor also. Business expanding, scale of the business expanding in the long run. Right? With the expanding of the scale of the business, the production process generate returns to scale. Right? And the economic returns to scale, subjective to the returns to scale principle. Right? The short run diminishing returns to the variable factor proportion, whereas the long run production process subjective to the returns to scale. The business is expanding, scale of the business is expanding. The variability of the factors of production, right? So that we can explain. But here it says now, but the short run, long run, the period, right, of adjustment depend on the nature of the industry as well, right? If you take the dry cleaning industry, long run maybe to change the schedule, right? Maybe certain months, certain weeks, right? But if you go to the electricity plant, something, construction of electricity plant, construction, the long run maybe number of years, right? Because it takes longer time to change the inputs, right? So depending on the industry also, there may be some deviations. Right? Okay, right. So is it clear the short run and the long run and the fixed input and the variable inputs that we correct in the production? Production, actually we talk about the production function, like production, we incorporate factors of production, in order to produce the goods and service. These factors of production, those are the inputs, so-called inputs, we can identify the fixed inputs and the variable inputs, right? And also, depending on the fixed and the variable inputs, we can identify the short run and the long run in economic terms. So the short run is the period of time where we can change the output by changing the variable inputs. Whereas the long run is the period of time that we reach the highest output level by changing all the factors of production. That means the long run, all the factors of production. Variable. And we can talk about the scale of the business. Right? Okay, this is clear. And then very fast. Fast so we can correct it right into this fast time. Right. So we know the short run and the long run. Right. Now we can discuss the production function. What is the meaning of the production function? Like we discussed, we can talk about the relationship between the input and the output. Right? So a dependent variable, independent variables, we can identify in production function. The two variables are there. Right? One is dependent variable and one is independent variable. So the dependent variable is the output. Independent variables are inputs, right? That we incorporate, right? Factors of production. Right? So the relationship between these input and output explains the production function, right? It explains the technical relationship because we incorporate these factors of production in order to produce maximum output, right? There can be different combinations, right? So we can combine the land and the labor. Suppose we take two factors, labor and the capital, right? Our dependent variable is the output, independent variable are the labor and the capital, right? So when we reach to the maximum output level, so we need to combine these factors of production, labor and the capital, right? So there can be different combinations, right? So that depends on the technology, right? So how we we incorporate labor and the capital in order to reach to the maximum output level, depending on the technology. Labor may be labor intensive, capital intensive. No? More labor than the capital, it's more labor intensive. If we use the time. If you use more capital than the labor, capital intensive. No? Right? So it depends on the techniques. So that explains how we incorporate labor and the capital to get the maximum output. Right? So the production function explains maximum possible output level that can be produced by incorporating labor and the capital. Right? So there can be different combinations. Right? That we can mix labor and the capital. Right? So we talk about the technical relationship. Right? So that is the maximum output that we can produce. Right? With the given level of inputs and the at a given level of technology. Right? So that actually shows the desired output level. Right? We are targeting the producers, what we do. We always try to maximize output, get the maximum profit. Right? So therefore, we need to use the maximum quantities in the labor and the capital, right, in order to get the maximum output level. Right? So even though it does not talk about the cost side, this is the physical side. Right? But finally, it depends on the cost also. Factors also important. Later on, we will talk about that also. Right? So now, that means now when we incorporate the factors of production in order to get the maximum output, right? So we are going to reach to the maximum output level by combining labor and the capital. Right? So that talk about the efficiency, right? Optimal allocation of resources, right? How we can optimally allocate labor and the capital in order to get the maximum output level. Right? Let's talk about it. Right? So there are two things you can highlight there: technical efficiency and the economic efficiency. The technical efficiency means we are trying to get the maximum output level, right, at a given level of. Right? That means now cost. We incorporate the factors of production. A for the factors of production is cost. Right? We depend on the factor prices, quantities, but we in the production process. Right? So, but we are trying to one side, we are trying to maximize the output, not at a given level of cost. Technical efficiency means we are getting the maximum amount of output, right? At a given level of, right? It is cost, right? That means the cost output level at a given level of cost. We are trying to maximize the output at a given level of cost. Now, the economic efficiency means we are producing at a lower cost, right? So that means, what does it mean? Minimizing cost, right? At a given level of output. We need to minimize the cost, right? Subject to the given output level. That is the economic efficiency, right? So, production function, there is technical efficiency and the economic efficiency. Yeah. Because we are producing maximum output level, cost, maximum cost, and that is the cost minimizing output level. Okay, right? So, because now the efficiency, why we need to talk about the efficiency, right? Because when we combine these factors, right? Production, labor, and capital, right? It makes the so you get the maximum output level, right? So that explains the efficiency, right? There we can highlight the technical efficiency and the now, short run and the long run production function, right? That depends on the variability of the factors, no, right? So we know that based on that, we identify the two production functions. Right? One is the short run production function. So suppose now we have the capital is fixed, quantity is the output, is a function of labor and the capital, no, right? Output is the function of labor and the capital. In the short run production function, this capital K is constant, right? Here, right? K bar, no, right? K bar means K is fixed, no, right? Because you cannot change the capital inputs in the short run, right? So therefore, finally, if the capital is fixed, we can say the output mainly depends on the labor, right? It is a function of labor, right? So in the short run, what we are trying to do, we are trying to maximize the output by using the maximum amount of labor, right? Therefore, we need to decide how much of labor hours, workers that we are going to employ in the short run. So in the short run, basically, it's a matter of number of workers hired, number of labor hours that we use in the production process in order to maximize the output side. That's why it depends on the labor. So in the loads, we know that all the variables inputs are varying. No? Since it's we go for the load run, then we expand the business, no? Right? In order to reach to the highest output level, right? So there we see all the factors, labor, capital, all the things are variable. Right? So that is actually explained, K is a function of labor and the capital. So we can use Douglas production function in order to explain the long run situation. Right? Now the Q is that actually explains the Douglas. Douglas production function. Right? So that is the Q A beta. Because labor and the capital, right? All are variable, right? So alpha and the beta are the coefficients, right? Now we take the log form, log Q equals log A plus alpha plus log T, right? So this alpha and the beta are the coefficients, right? That explains when you change the labor inputs, how much the output change, right? So this is a linear form, right? When you convert it to the log function, right? Become linear, right? So anyway, right? So both here labor and the capital is variable, but we change, right? If there's a change in the labor and the capital, output change, right? So that means the delta Q. Due to change in the labor and the output, so capital, right? If you differentiate other terms, but to differentiate this Cobb-Douglas production function, right? In terms of labor or in terms of capital, right? Can identify the slope of these curves and the marginal productivity of labor and capital, right? So we talk about that one day, right? So this is the Cobb-Douglas production function. So we can explain this to explain the known production function, right? Where both labor and the capital are variable, right? Okay. So now, in the here, actually, we talk about the short-run production function, right? We are talking about the physical output, right? With respect to change in the labor, right? Capital is fixed, right? Capital is constant, right? A bar, right? A bar, capital is constant, right? So now, with respect to change in the labor, right? So we can identify the three concepts there, right? Total product, marginal product, and the average product, right? So total production means with respect to change in the labor, how much we can produce, no? Right? How we are changing the labor inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? Higher conventional labor inputs, right? This is the short run. Right? So this is the total output, total product, right? Change in fact in the labor, right? So that is the total product, right? With respect to change in the labor, how much we can produce, right? Average product, average productivity of labor, right? So that is the total product per unit of labor, right? How we obtain the average product? Total product divided by L, labor, right? So that is the average product, right? And the marginal product means changing the total product when you change the labor inputs by 1 unit, right? So the responsiveness of total production due to change in the labor inputs, right? So changing total product due to change in the labor is given by marginal product. Here, since the variable factor is the labor, we calculate here marginal product of labor, right? Marginal productivity of labor, right? So that is delta TP over delta L, right? So if you differentiate the total product function, once you form the total product function, right, you can obtain the marginal product. So that is the slope of the marginal product curve, sorry, slope of the total product curve, right, given by the marginal product. Right? Now you can see we increase the labor inputs, right? But you can see here total production, or total output increase, right? But initially it increase at a faster rate, then thereafter it increase at a decreasing rate, and come to the maximum level, then thereafter it tends to decrease, no, right? So this is the maximum level 380. Then at when you incorporate 10 labor units, total production decrease, right? If you look at the average product, what happened? First is increase, right? Right. So it comes to the maximum, right? At this level, at the 3 weeks of labor. Then thereafter, continuously decrease, right? Average product. And the marginal product also, initial period, it increase, come to the maximum level, right? And thereafter it decreases. And it becomes negative, right? The marginal product is negative, right? So there is somewhere its marginal productivity equals to 0. So there, right? So that means when the total production is maximized, we know that marginal productivity equals to 0, right? Because at the maximum point, slope of the total product curve equals to 0. So that means marginal productivity is zero somewhere in between these two, no, right? Finally, if there is a decline in the total production, what happens? Marginal productivity becomes negative, right? So we can see the behavior, right, in this numerical table, right? So once you calculate the total product, marginal product, average product, right? We can refer this one. This is graphically if we explain those numerical values, we plot in the graphs, right? So we see this is the total production, right? And output, right? We put the output product. Here the labor inputs, variable factor, right? The short run, right? What we see initially, so total product increase. When you come to L1 level, right? Total product increase at an increasing rate, right? So then actually total product increase at a decreasing rate, and it comes to the maximum level, right? So then thereafter it should decrease, right? So now the slope of this total product curve explained by the marginal productivity, right? So this line explains the marginal product. Now you see up to L1 level, right? The initial stage of the labor inputs, so the period, right? Keeping the fixed factors, right, constant, when we incorporate the labor, marginal productivity increase faster rate, right? Upward, right? At this point, it's become maximum, right? Because if you know the tangent points, right? The total product curve, right? And you observe the slope of that curve, right? Initially it increases, right? At this point, it's maximum marginal productivity, right? So then thereafter, marginal productivity decrease, positive, but decrease. So that means total product increase at a decreasing rate because marginal productivity is the change in output, change in the labor input, right? If you see the slope of the tangent, you know, right, what happened? It continuously slopes decreasing, right? That's why marginal product continuously decreasing. So this is the region where we experience diminishing marginal productivity of labor, right? So here the principle applies diminishing marginal returns to the variable factor proportion. Total run, right? So when the total product is maximized at this point, that means marginal productivity equals to zero, right? Because the slope of this curve zero at the maximum point. So that means marginal productivity equals to zero. Then thereafter it becomes negative, right? It becomes negative. That means total output tends to decrease, right? And the average product, if you take, how you obtain the average product? Line, you draw the line from the origin to this curve, right? And if you see the slope of that line side, you can observe the average product, right? Initially, if you draw the lines, what happened? Slope increase, average product increase, right? Then at this point, you draw the line, become tangent to this point, that is the maximum point of the average product, right? So at that point, we see marginal product and the average product equal, copying each other, right? Because this slope of the two curves that we drawn from the origin and the tangent point equals same slope, right? At this point. Here, marginal productivity and the average productivity equals, right? But at that point, we know that marginal average productivity is maximized. That is very important point, right? This point, average productivity is maximized, right? But thereafter, we know that output increase, but it decreases. The slope, if you go the field also decrease, right? So that means average product also decrease, right? If you see the the behavior of the marginal product and the average product, initially what happened? When you change the labor inputs, what happened? The average product, both average product and the marginal product increase, but marginal product is higher than the average product. Right. So at this point, what happened? Both marginal product and the average product come equals, right? But thereafter, you see average product is higher than the marginal product, right? Until the marginal product equals to 0, right? So that means actually at this point, since we compare these two areas, right? One is the marginal product is higher than the average product, other one is average product is higher than the marginal product. So therefore, at this point, we can guess these two curves are intersect each other, right? So that is the point where average productivity is maximized, right? So now we see in the short run the situation, right? What we see, even though it's very short period, we see the increasing marginal productivity, right? The production process, most of the time we experience diminishing marginal productivity to the variable factor proportion. So that is the most important area, right? So even though this is diminishing, this is declining, still the marginal productivity is positive, right? Marginal productivity is positive until 0.0, right? But thereafter marginal productivity is negative. That is the area where we increase the labor inputs further on, right? Above the L3 level, right? Yeah, the total product that is still in, right? Okay, right. So that is the short term situation. What happened is when you incorporate more and more labor inputs, right? Total output increase at a decreasing rate most of the time. That will generate diminishing marginal returns to the variable factor proportion. Okay, right. Right. So we discussed this one, the relationship APL and the APL, right? So at a particular point, we know that particular labor inputs, both the LDL and the APL equals, right? Right. So now we know that we know how derive these curves, right? It's explained the average productivity variable. We can derive by knowing the lines from the origin. This curve, right? And we get the slope of that curve, right? Slope of the initial slope increasing on it. So that's why average productivity increase. Then thereafter, average productivity decreases, right? So we get the average productivity curve by drawing the line from 0 to this total product and see the slope of that curve, right? So the different points, right? Initially, when you draw the lines, slope increase, then thereafter slope decrease, that's right? Increase and decrease. Marginal productivity means slope of this curve is over the tangent points, right? Tangent point. Initially, the slopes increase, is maximized, then thereafter slope tends to decrease up to this point, this slope becomes 0, right? And thereafter it becomes negative, right? Slope. So that's why initially increase, then decrease, 0, and it becomes negative, right? So in other words, if you differentiate the total product curve, you can obtain the marginal product curve, right? Here, in this region, if you dq over dl is positive, right? Up to this point, right? dq over dp, sorry, dq over dl is positive. At this point, dq over dl 0, right? To differentiate the total product curve, right? So thereafter, what happened? dq over dl, it becomes negative, less than 0, right? Now, at this point, you don't include equal 0 at the maximum point. Yeah, the marginal productivity of labor equals 0. Average productivity, I can correct right anyway, right? Like this, right? Appliance, right? And different, right? This is obviously not 100% accurate because depending on this, you can calculate, right? Now here at this region, what happened? If you over here to differentiate, it's positive, no? Greater than 6. Right? That's why we have the positive marginal productivity. Okay, no, right? After this point, what happened? To differentiate less than 0, no? Right? Negative marginal productivity is negative, no? Right? So at this point, total product is maximized. That means marginal productivity is 0. So this is the point where we maximize the average productivity. So that's also an important point. Something here that relate with here, not right? Know it clear, right? Right. Not coincide with the total productivity. The next point is that point also very important, right? So when we talk about the rational producer, like where the producer determine the output levels. Now, we observe diminishing marginal returns, right? It is the point where the marginal productivity of labor area, marginal productivity of labor decrease, right? So in the short run, we see diminishing marginal returns, right? As we see in the graphical and the table next to the force, right? So mostly we see the diminishing marginal returns, right? Okay. So now where the producer determine its output level. Rational producer, right? Now we can see, right? Rational producer, right? Now we can identify 3 stages in production, right? One first stage is the up to this point, right? The inputs where the average productivity is maximized, no? Right? We see the marginal productivity also increase and then tends to decrease somewhat, right? But here average productivity continuously increases, right? So that is the first stage, right? Right. Second stage, we see both average productivity and the marginal productivity, but here marginal productivity is positive, right? In the third stage, we see we incorporate excessive labor input, right? Total production tends to decrease, right? So if you incorporate labor inputs about the endpoint, right? Whatever total output decrease. That means marginal productivity is negative. Average productivity also continues to decrease, right? So where the producer produce how many labor inputs we incorporate, right? In this production process in the short run, depending on the fixed capital, right? So actually the stage 1, if you take the stage 1, right? Now here 0 to N1 labor input use, right? So, but marginal productivity is increasing, then thereafter it's decreasing somewhat. Average productivity also increase, right? But this point is not rational, right? Stage one. Why? Because there is a possibility to increase the output further, no? Right? Maximize. We are talking about maximum output level, right? Right. Maximum output level, no? Right? So here actually there is excess capacity in the business, no? Right? At this level, you incorporate a number of units, right? What happened? So that means we are not utilizing the full capacity of the business. Right? We are not utilizing fully the capital inputs, even at the short run, no? Right? There is a possibility to increase the output using that excess capacity. That's why this point will not select this area stage one, right? Because there is a possibility to increase the output level further by utilizing the capital. Right? Capital is not fully utilized at this level, no? Right? Because the short run we have given level of capital stock, no? Right? So there is a possibility to increase the labor input further, right? By consuming that capital input. No? So therefore, stage three also, right? Stage three also not possible because definitely there is a excessive labor input we use, no? Right? Overriding the capital, no? Right? At this step, right? Now we have the 2 machines, 10 labor. We use 15 labor inputs, no? Likewise. That's why the output is going to decrease. Marginal productivity is negative. The producer never select the output level. There is a negative marginal productivity. Here the marginal productivity is negative, right? Therefore, you not select stage 3 also. You will select stage 2. Because even though marginal productivity is decreased, still marginal productivity is positive. Right? And average productivity is higher than the marginal productivity also. Right? And there is a possibility to use the capital maximum possible way in order to reach to the maximum output level, right? So therefore, rational producer produced in stage 2, right? We don't know where he produced particular point, right? That depends on the cost and market conditions, no, right? But rational producer, in terms of the physical output, marginal productivity as well as concerned, right? He produced in stage 2 region, right? In order to maximize the output. Okay? Is it clear? Investigations? Right. Okay. So now it's given here, right? So the stage 1, the situation, stage 2, and the stage 3, right? As we discussed, right? Right. So the stage 2 is the most preferable one, right? The total production is continuously increased, no, right? Average productivity also increase, and it's above the marginal productivity, and the marginal productivity also positive, right? At that region, right? That is most preferable region in production, right? As far as it says concerned. Okay. Right. So the long run production function we talk about, right? So earlier we talk about short run production function, right? And the behavior, right? Based on the total product, average product, and the marginal product, right? We can, based on those concepts, we can decide how many labor inputs going to be incorporated in the production process or run by changing the variable input subject to the next category, right? So now we are moving to the long run, right? So we have a few minutes, right? So then we go up until 7:15. Yep. 7:15 is okay. 12 minutes, right? Okay, right. So now the long run production Right now, we know that all the factors variable. So we can explain that one based on the Baum surplus production function, no, right? Where all the factors variable. Alpha and beta give us the coefficient with respect to change in the data and the capital inputs, no, right? So that will generate returns to scale, right? So when we change the labor inputs and the capital inputs, we can gain with respect to change in the inputs, right? More capital than the change in the labor inputs that generate returns to scale, increasing. So the returns to scale may be increasing, decreasing, or constant, right? With respect to change in the output. And we compare with respect to change in the inputs, how we get respond output. If the output change is more powerful than the input change, the production process generates increasing returns to scale, right? If the same proportion is input and output change, we know that it is constant returns to scale, right? Decreasing means if there is a change in the input, output does not respond to that, right? No percent. That generate decreasing returns to scale, right? So we can identify those constant, increasing, decreasing returns to scales in the long run with respect to change in the output due to change in the variable inputs. So all the inputs are variable, right? Okay. So that is constant, increasing, and decreasing, right? So that we can see, right, based on the production function, right? Whether it's generate, increasing, decreasing, or constant returns to scale, right? Then here explain and explain using the Douglas production function, right? Okay, right? So, the long run now, we know that there is one question I want to give you, right? Based on the question that we can go further. And right, I don't know whether online participants, can you see the screen? I will give you two questions, right? So I will upload this one to the LMS also, right? Can you see it, right? It's a question that I give you, right? So you need to submit your answer tomorrow, by tomorrow, right? Okay. So can you hear me and those who are participating online, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
So this is the quiz that I am giving to you, right? So you need to, I will upload this one to the LMS, right, today. So you need to submit your answer tomorrow, right? So this is the based on the things that we discussed so far, right? So, so the deadline is tomorrow, right? Okay. So you can take a photo, right? I will upload to the LMS and okay, right? So it's right? So we will wind up the session, right? So if there are any questions, 2 minutes We have any question, right? You can raise, right? Is it clear what we talked so far? So far, we can be carried so far, right? And next day we will, I go to discuss all this, right? After the, we have been so right, on the way. Isocontent, isophosphorus, we will discuss next day, right? We will finish and we will start and we will go to the other. Right? So that is the non-done situation, right? So we can. Content output, right? Like a content, right? We can explore the producer differently based on that. Next day you will talk about the application. Okay. Okay, so we will find out the session. Thank you very much. We'll meet next day, right?